Hello, everyone. Welcome. This is Achieve Miami's second College Empower Hour, and we are very excited to have you join us. This resource was born out of a larger effort to continue supporting our high school students' college readiness journeys through virtual means. And today we're going to be talking about a very timely topic, college decisions, and how to decide without visiting campus. First, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Jess Vocatoro. I am the newest member of the Achieve Miami team. As the new manager of high school programs, I work alongside Ingrid, Rachel, Kelly, and Stephanie, and the rest of our team to implement our current and future high school programs. So I'm very excited about that. I'm also very excited to be leading our junior advisory board, which more to come in the upcoming months about that. And most importantly, my job is to support all of you. And part of that means ensuring that you receive all of the necessary information about future college readiness opportunities. And with that said, please feel free to reach out to me or send me an email at the address below at any time. I'd love to get to know you. And also, please don't forget to sign up for our weekly / bi-weekly Don't Stop Achieving College Readiness newsletter. The bit.ly link is to the left right there. And yeah, we're very excited to provide these resources to you, and we hope you subscribe and reach out anytime. Before we get started, I just wanted to say congratulations to all of the seniors out there who received their decisions. Needless to say, this is a very strange time, but for all of you, it is a celebratory time as well. So I hope that in whatever way possible, you're making time and space to acknowledge all of the hard work that you've put into your college readiness journeys and really celebrate your achievements. As mentioned, this is a very strange time. For safety and public health reasons, colleges are no longer doing on-campus visits for accepted students. I think that, that's widely known at this point in time, and that might be a huge bummer for many of you who are hoping to visit campus. Visiting campus is helpful when you're making your college decision in several ways. First, and most importantly, it helps you envision yourself at the school, really kind of set yourself in the shoes of a student who goes there. It also enables you to ask in-person questions with both the students and the faculty or whoever else you encounter there. It helps you get a sense of whether students actually like it there. And it also gives you an opportunity to get the vibe. Campuses are very different, as demonstrated by the various photos of campuses here. But, while we all want that warm, fuzzy feeling or the aha moment to help us decide, that is not an option right now. And for some people, it was never an option in the first place. Perhaps the college you got into is super far away and there's just no way that you would be able to get there before deciding. No matter what, situation is yours, you could still make a confident college decision by doing your research, by tapping into virtual resources and thinking critically about what you want your college experience to be like. In this short but sweet College Empower Hour workshop, we're going to go over the top 5 things to consider when making your college decision. It's very likely that you've already considered some or all of the items in this list. And some of these items might be more deal-breaking for you than others. But no matter what, I hope that what we cover today at least gets the juices flowing and provides you the knowledge and info necessary to make the right decision for you. First things first, we're just diving right in here. How much will attending this college cost? That's a very critical question. This consideration is one that I could spend the entire College Empower Hour talking about, but today we're going to stick with just the basics and keep it really simple. When you receive your college acceptance letter, it's usually accompanied by an award letter or a document that describes your financial aid package. So when looking at that award letter, be sure to identify and understand the following 3 buckets: free money, earned money, and borrowed money. Free money might include or usually include scholarships and awards. So whether that's scholarships that you won while you were in high school or awards that you applied for in your senior year and were just notified about, all of that free, quote unquote, free money going towards college, that's all in that bucket. I put a star next to this because You should be aware that scholarships, you might have to maintain a certain grade point average to continue receiving a scholarship, depending on what scholarship it is. And also with grants, some grants might become loans depending on what type of grant it is. For example, a federal Pell Grant, those usually don't have to be repaid until or except under certain circumstances. So if you withdraw early from a program or your enrollment status changes, you want to make sure you know the details of the free money that you're getting. The second bucket is the earned money. So work study falls under this bucket, and a lot of people are confused about what that is, but federal work study in short is just a program that provides part-time jobs for students with financial need. Not only do you need to be eligible for this, your school also has to participate in the federal work study program. And you can tell if you're eligible by calling your financial aid office, and that eligibility is determined by your FAFSA completion, how you filled out your FAFSA. And then the last bucket is the borrowed money, so loans. Obviously, we want this bucket to be the smallest of the three, and we'll go over in a second what your different options are in short. If you are having any sort of trouble understanding any part of your financial aid package, do not guess. Call the school's financial aid office and ask someone to walk you through it. That's why they're there. They're expecting these questions to be coming at this time of year. And your experience working with the financial aid office might be really telling about future interactions. This is not the last time you're going to talk to your financial aid office at a school that you go to. So might as well call them up now, start a relationship, and get the answers to the questions that you need answered. Net cost. So once you understand everything included in your financial aid package, you can calculate the net cost. And that is a very simple simple process. The net cost is just the amount students or families will need to pay, whether that be out of pocket or through loans. And you can figure out what that net cost is by subtracting the cost of attendance, which in some award letters might include tuition and fees, room and board, books and supplies, transportation. These four bullets are all things you might want to call up your financial aid office and ask if those things are included. It's all of that minus scholarships and awards, so that free money bucket, and then that's what your net cost is going to be. Of course, again, that is the most important. And how much of that net cost you can reasonably cover out of pocket will be different for everyone. But however, most people will have to take out loans, or at least have some sort of combination of loans and direct payments to cover this. If you do have to take out loans, it's extremely important that you understand what types of loans are out there and how they differ. So we're not going to dive totally into this topic today. Again, I said I could talk about it for an entire hour, but I would be remiss if at least I didn't point out the biggest ways in which federal loans and private loans differ. So studentaid.gov is the U.S. Department of Education's online resource, and they have a lot of fantastic articles, but they have a particularly fantastic chart that compares the difference between federal and private loans. So the chart you're looking at right now is an abridged version of that. And I'm not going to read out everything, but the most important thing you need to know is that federal loans are, on the whole, better than private loans in certain key ways. The interest rate is fixed with private or federal loans. Federal loans have fixed interest rates. You have a variety of repayment options with federal loans, and you don't have to make payments while you're in school, but you can, and you won't be penalized for that if you're able to. So there are a lot of different options with federal loans. Private loans, it really depends on your lender. And again, studentaid.gov is a fantastic resource. Make sure you do your research and understand what's right for you. On to our next consideration, academics. This is another critical piece. If you're interested in studying something very specific, like food science or criminal justice or performing arts, you might want to choose a school with a very strong food science, criminal justice, or theater program. Again, you might have already considered this, but now that you're into certain colleges, or now that you're choosing, you have the ability to get down to the nitty-gritty and be a little picky. if you have no idea, so this is on the flip side, if you have no idea what you want to study, you might want to choose a school with the most opportunity to explore various disciplines and gain real world experience. So it doesn't matter, you don't have to know exactly what you want to do in order to be judicious. You can still seek out the right experience for you based on what you know you're leaning towards or not leaning towards, et cetera, et cetera. Answers to many of these questions can be found right on the school's website. And here are some essential questions that will help you in your research and your thinking about this consideration specifically. So the first question, does this school have a strong program for what I want to study? We just discussed that. What's the class size or student to faculty ratio? You know, how many students will my professor be answering to? And how accessible will they be to me when I need help or when I have questions? Would my AP course credits be accepted? This is something that is often overlooked, but definitely very important. You poured a lot of time and effort, or if you poured a lot of time and effort into your AP course in high school and you go to college and you find out, oh my gosh, all of those credits were not counted or will not be counted, that's a pretty important thing to know going in. And lastly, what are the academic advising and academic support services like? If you are someone with who learns differently or has some sort of differing ability when it comes to academics, you might really, really care about this piece because you want to be able to be supported in the ways that you need it. So that's a little bit of academics and some guiding questions. Student support services. This falls under some other important considerations. Asking yourself, does this college have robust systems and structures of support that will help me succeed is a really often, forgotten question. If you want to become a doctor or enter an industry that requires a master's degree, a school that offers fantastic graduate school preparation might be really, really appealing to you. Equally as important will be whether or not a school has a strong career counseling center. Health services might be really important to you, as might be the option to talk to a counselor or therapist. Whatever it is, when you're making your decision, think about not only what you need now, but what you will need or might need in the future. And just like with academics, all of this information can be found right on your school's website. I can't emphasize that enough. Do your research. Usually the colleges and the schools you're looking at will have all of this information front and center. So now we're on to the fun stuff, or the more fun stuff. Housing might fall further down on the list of priorities, but if your options are almost identical, you've thought about, financial aid packages are pretty much the same, the support systems and the academics are there, and you have no idea how to decide, you can always look at housing. Your college will be your new home away from home. And this is certainly the case if you're going away to college. Even if you decide to live at home, you will likely still be spending most of your time on campus or in the classroom. So explore whether you have options to live off campus or on campus. Will I be stuck living in huge dorm rooms my entire time there? Or will I have the option to live in a smaller, tighter knit house or tighter knit community? Some other questions to ask. Here's the large versus small consideration. Some other questions to ask. Does gender inclusive housing matter to me? Do I want to participate in Greek life? Perhaps I'm intrigued by the idea of theme housing. And if you've never heard of what themed houses are before, it's a smaller, usually at smaller colleges, there will be certain dorms geared towards specific things like social justice or quiet study or some sort of like eco living. Maybe that's really intriguing to you. And lastly, do I care about the size of my dorm room? Do I care that I might be living in, a quad, a room with 4 different people living in it? Including yourself, or will you have a shoebox your first year? Some things seem really small, and in the grand scheme of things are, but again, if you have the room to be picky, these are some things that you can think about. Many colleges have virtual tours of their residence halls, so you can check those out. And again, most of this can be found right on your school's website or on the school's website. Lastly, there's campus life. This is another fun consideration. So if you're someone who is really passionate about a particular organization, say Habitat for Humanity, you might be really excited about a college with a thriving Habitat for Humanity club. Take a look at what student clubs and organizations already exist. And if something you're interested in does not exist or you don't see it listed there, check out how hard it would be to start a club. That's a really simple thing to do. That's often on the website as well. You never know. You never know what possibilities might exist. And if there's a thriving campus life that includes your interests, that might be really exciting to you. Events and programming, this bullet is on here. I just want to explain it a little bit. Events and programming, this includes everything that the college itself, like the administration or the residents, staff, set up to improve your experience. Smaller colleges tend to have a really strong sort of event and programming for their incoming freshman classes. That's something that you might care a lot about as you enter a new social environment. Food is on here. It would be nuts for me to not put it on here. If you have a lot of dietary restrictions, it might be really convenient for you to go to a college where they have a dining hall filled with options. Or you might just be a really hungry gal like me and would want all the options available to you, or as many as possible. So that's one thing to think about. One extra tip, if you are like me and like to do some really intense research, you could always take a look at the student handbook. These are usually available to the public and online. And while reading the handbook, disclaimer, won't give you an all-encompassing understanding of what campus life will be like, it will provide you a glimpse into what will be expected of you once you're there. And depending on your situation, that might be really telling or important. So some other things that you can do, we just covered the 5 very, very quickly. We just covered the 5 top considerations you can make. Some other things you can do include virtual tours. Those are still very, very helpful. They will be heavily edited. You'll have a lot of staged photos. It's likely that that will be the case, but a lot of colleges have done a phenomenal job putting those together and making them as real as possible for you. Check those out. Go for it. There are some links in the resources page of, or the resources slide of this presentation that you can take advantage of. Another thing you could do is make a pro-con list or a chart if you're one of those people that likes to see information spread out visually. If you have the option to talk to alumni, reach out to them, talk to them. It doesn't matter whether they graduated many, many years ago or graduated last year. Getting some sort of glimpse into what their college experience was like and what they understand their college's priorities to be, that might be really helpful. Google what's around campus. So as someone who went to a college that was very small in a town that was not super lively, I didn't mind that, but I have a lot of friends and I know a lot of people who definitely minded that. If you're looking at schools that look pretty much the same in all other aspects, but are located in 2 very different places, think about whether you would want to be living in a bustling city or maybe more of a suburb. That's something that you could take a look at. And then lastly, and I have to emphasize this during this time, look into how a college is responding to COVID-19 and what support they're providing to current students. This is very telling about how much the college is able and is willing to support students during this time. And again, I would be remiss to not mention this in a slideshow about college decisions during COVID-19. One last thing. I didn't mention this, but it is certainly, I didn't mention this earlier, but, and this is certainly not an afterthought, it is very important for particular students, athletics. So if you are going into college knowing that you want to play a particular sport, there are a whole host of considerations that go along with that you've probably already made. Just remember that as a college student athlete, no matter how great you are at your sport, no matter how much time you spend on the field, the court, the track, whatever, you will always be a student first. Choose a place where you'll be happy even without your sport. And trust me, that will always be the right answer for you. As a former student athlete, I will tell you this is very, very important. So here are some resources that you can take advantage of. Again, I just wanted to put studentaid.gov here. Outlines a lot of different questions about loans, student aid, et cetera, et cetera. Virtual tours, here are some websites or virtual tour providers that, that have gained a lot of traction right now. litcollegetour.com, you can actually choose your region, and they have a national event coming up in May 2020. So I encourage you to take a look at that. And then again, the schools themselves, whether it's just a random Google search or whatever, that's all well and good, but take a look at the school's websites and really dive deep and explore. So here we are at the bottom line. Right now, you might be feeling a little bit like this is the worst. I can't visit campus. I'm gonna make a decision that I regret. Oh my God. But I promise you, at the end of everything, you're going to be just fine. Transferring is always an option, but keep in mind that it's fairly costly. Think about, what's driving your decision making, and if this decision is like particularly stressful for a reason outside of the considerations we just went over, and go with your gut. At the end of the day, just go with your gut. It's going to be okay. No matter what college you go to, and no matter what obstacles or challenges you encounter while there, just know that nothing will be perfect, and you are going to do the work necessary to make that college experience your own. And that's what's going to make it special. That's what's going to make you proud on your graduation day. That's what's going to make your college experience yours. And that's all that matters. So, with that said, thank you so much for watching this video and for joining our recorded College Empower Hour. Sign up for our newsletter. Again, the link is to the left. This is where notifications about our upcoming live College Empower Hours will be posted. And during these live College Empower Hours, attendees have the opportunity to ask questions in a true office hour style format. So I encourage you to join. I hope you had a great time watching this video, and I hope to see you at live College Empower Hours in the future. So thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day, and we hope to see you soon.